Today we're at the UTurn charity shop with Lauren Graham Parker, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about how the textiles here in this store are serving social change. So Lauren, can you tell us a little bit more about this charity shop and how it came into being?
Sure. Our charity started 25 years ago in Cape Town. We've only just recently moved up to Joburg now last year, November. Our store is responsible for almost 50% of our non-profits income.
Wow.
And so that means it's from we've got branded end-of-range products, and then a large part of our store is pre-loved items. So these are donations that people will drop off. We have a laundry in the back, we sort them, we clean them, and then they come back in the store for a second lease at life. We've got quite a wide variety of donations. I think a lot of people think charity store and they think I'll dump my stuff.
Do you get a lot of stuff dumped on you?
We do.
Okay.
But the occupational therapist in me loves it because I love potential.
Okay.
So we've got a grading system. So our A grade is your very famous, expensive brands, and if it's barely been worn or touched, then we keep it. We've got a large online presence on Facebook Marketplace. But otherwise, our B grade stuff is everything you'll see in the store. So it's everything that's still wearable. So nothing in our store is stained or holy. It really is good quality.
Yes, I've seen that as I've been ruffling through your shelves.
Yes.
So Lauren, can you tell us a little bit more about the sorting system that you've got going at the back here for the textiles that come in?
Absolutely. In Joburg, we're still very small. In Cape Town, we actually have a whole warehouse dedicated to the sorting. We call it the laundry. But this is our Joburg start. So a customer will bring in a bag of donations. We'll weigh it. We are very concerned with thanking the customers. So we'll take down their details, we'll send them an email to thank them for their donation. When the guys bring it to the back here, this is our sorting with purpose area. So we've got our A, B, C, D, and our laundry bins. So A is our high quality stuff we'll sell online. B is stuff that will go into the shop.
So the top quality stuff doesn't even make it into the shop, it all gets sold online?
Most of the time, yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
It is. Someone will come and say, I saw this, and we're going, have we sold it? Have we not sold it? But we've now moved all the Facebook stuff to the back, just to keep it.
Okay, keep it tidy.
Yes.
Okay, so you actually have to keep that stuff separate out of the main stock because there's too much confusion when people come in and buy.
Yeah, it's also, theft is real in South Africa, and so we'd rather our expensive pieces, we're talking, items that are still worth 800 to 2,000 Rand, that they definitely get kept safe.
Yes,
because
that makes sense.
It brings, and I think that's important, is your donation, we're not just selling everything for 10 Rand because we want to move it. We really value the quality of the donation. So if you bring in a high quality item, we're going to sell it for a high quality value, not because we want to get the most out of it, but because we believe that item is worth that amount.
And I think that's also great for the person bringing in the donation because then they know you're not giving it away for $5. You're actually getting a great value, a fair value price out of it that then will benefit the organization in a wonderful way.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome that you kind of sift and sort the stuff and make sure that the really valuable stuff gets valued properly.
Yes.
And appropriately.
Yes. And then our B grade stuff, so we've got a whole system at the back here where once we've called it a B grade, it then gets separated into ladies' long pants and shorts and dresses and skirts, just to help with managing the stock of the store. So we can say, oh, we're really short on dresses, and we can go and we can pull dresses. Then we've got our C box, which is again stuff that we can't really sell for a good price, and so we'd rather it make an impact for someone who's living on the street who doesn't have any. So as soon as this box is full, we package them in boxes and we send them to our service centers, to churches, those that need the clothes. And then this is my favorite box. This is our D box. I'm a little bit of a hoarder. But I love the creativity that comes from not having resources. So we'll often get stuff that it is not wearable, but it still has purpose, it still has value. So a lot of the things in our D box will go to ragging, for hardware stores, or we'll make dog beds, blankets, We get a lot of denim scraps, in which case we've started making denim aprons, denim like a dungaree.
Oh, yes.
And those are very popular, especially here in Melville.
Okay. So you make them here and then you sell them in the store?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's giving them new life. We've had people offer to come and do workshops with us where we turn some of these very small scraps into shoes and into earrings, and really just to give it like its last lease on life.
So you mentioned it's your favorite box.
Yes.
Why is it your favorite box?
I think because I love to see something that has potential.
Yes.
Because if I open it now, it's a piece of material. It might be this small, but it could be something that changes someone's life. You know, it could be a shoe. It could be a bed that goes to the SPCA for dogs to sleep on. It could be a Mother's Day gift long down the line as an apron. Yes. And it's something that as a consumer society, we just toss, we just throw away. It ends up in landfills. And so for me, it's something to say, it still has value. Yes, I might not be paying as it is a lot of money for it, but it has the potential to become something. And I think that's really like, it's our view of UTurn and the guys that we work with and the ladies that we work with. We're not saying that they're there to be thrown away and tossed aside, that they're useless. It's seeing something in them and creating something more. And I think that's, very important.
So you know you're talking my language right now. I love that so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for showing us how you do this. I'm so impressed, and I feel like we're kindred spirits, because for me, those bags are also really where the magical potential of the human mind lives.
Yes.
Because that's where you have to be really, really inventive.
You're resourceful. You are just, I mean, the number of hours I spend on Pinterest looking for ideas, but yes, you know, it's not an end.
Yes. And the sewing that gets done, is that a skill that you teach here also?
So we haven't got to that capacity yet in Joburg, but we do have a sewing workshop in Cape Town. And we've got a retired OT who's running that. So she'll have 4 or 5 champs with her at a time. And what we found is, since we started that workshop, there's also companies that are donating whole rolls of material. So they've used what they needed to, and now there's this leftover tracksuit material. And then we'll turn it into something. And so, you know, it's not just the scraps we're getting donated now. It's the leftover rolls that is not enough to make something of. And for us, that's just gold.
Yes, I'm sure. So I also saw on some of your rails that you've got duplicates of garments. Can you explain those to us?
So we partner with branded companies, and we take on all of their end-of-range products, or products where there's some factory fault. So maybe the label hasn't been stuck on properly, or some things there's a small tear or rip. And so we take those in. One, obviously it gives us the money, but two, it's that stuff doesn't end up in landfills. You know, a lot of the time there's nothing wrong with it. You know, maybe if you are an A-grade shopper and you're only wearing the best, then you'll notice it. But for general population, it's a t-shirt, it's a dress, it's a jacket, it's a warm coat to keep you. Exactly. So obviously the prices we sell that for is not what you're buying in the retail stores. It is at a reduced cost, but it still brings us in some funds to do the work that we need to do.
I love that. I love that you are not only working with individuals, but also with corporates. You seem to partner with anyone you can find as an organization. And
I think it's really important, because, you know, otherwise we're living in a world of silos where we all have the same vision and nothing's getting done. So that collaboration is very important.
I'm very, very impressed with what you've got in the store here.
So one of the reasons our store looks the way it does is this is not just any thrift store, but we've got a work readiness program. So the guys that are on our program have come from a background of living on the streets or from a drug addiction, a substance abuse, and are really trying to change their lives and get into the open labor market. So you'll see you know, we really do take pride in the way we lay out things. Everything's color-coded, the hangers are facing the right way, shirts are buttoned up correctly. So we also want our shoppers, our customers to enjoy the experience of shopping here. One of our tags is thrift for purpose, or purchase with purpose. And it really is more about why we're here.
Yes.
So, you know, we're not just a store looking to make money. What we're doing is we're changing lives.
Yes.
We have an 85% success rate using the model that we've developed over 25 years. And the retail stores really are 50% of the income that we get is from that.
So what I find very interesting about your charity store is many charity stores you go into, the store is just kind of a place where you drop stuff off and they resell it to make some money. What seems to be different about what you're doing here is that you're using the store as a training ground for people who want to enter into the job market.
Absolutely. And retail is not for everyone, but it offers a good system of upskilling. So, you know, as someone will start, and it's how do we greet customers at a door, arrive on time for work, dress appropriately, dealing with conflict amongst colleagues, how do you deal with authority, especially the guys that have lived on the street. Dealing with authority is quite a difficult one, because if you think about it, the authority is normally kicking them out of places they shouldn't be, or so there's not a really good relationship there. And the way a retail store is set up, it's an answer to so many of those challenges.
Yes. So how did you get involved in this organization?
Well, I feel like when I got offered this job, it's almost that God had been working through my life. I studied occupational therapy, so I'm a qualified OT, and I'd worked in community bases and spaces, so churches and schools and anywhere. I'm not really the hospital kind of OT. I can do it, but it doesn't make my heart happy. So when I heard that they were looking for an OT who loved working with the homeless, but who also was able to juggle things like a retail store, and they were looking for a Christian to start here in Joburg. And I sort of was like, that job description was written for me. We all have good days and bad days, but it's really been a privilege to join the UTurn family, because that's what we are. We're not just a staff collective. There's a family within UTurn. And where do you think that sense of family comes from? I think the way the company is structured, it's not just about meeting deadlines and tasks. There's check-ins. We have partnered with someone to help us as individuals grow our emotional intelligence. There's such a good feedback loop, and we have retreats together, we have plannings together. Earlier this year, I flew down to Cape Town to meet the other 100 staff members. Wow, 100 staff members? Yeah, we're over 100 staff members. Wow. Yeah, most of them in Cape Town. We're 4 in Joburg, but we're growing. And so Cape Town, now Joburg, do you have goals for Durban also? There have been many requests. Durban, PE, everyone wants us. So we definitely have something that works and that people are seeing, and everyone wants in. So we're using Joburg as our first non-Cape Town branch. We're doing lots of learning as we're growing, and hopefully the lessons we're learning here will then make moving to other areas easier. So how does kind of the landscape in Joburg differ from Cape Town? It's huge. From choice of drugs is different, but also, who we have living on the street. So in Joburg, we've got a lot of foreign nationals. Cape Town is way at the bottom. It's far for them to travel. So Joburg is sort of like, it's a city of gold. It's where people come to find employment and to make money and to support their families. And there's a shortage of jobs, and so it's really easy to get stuck in that place of difficulty. Okay, so Joburg's got more foreign nationals, whereas Cape Town's more local people. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And how does that affect your work? It's difficult because obviously with the legal side of things, a lot of the guys that are foreign nationals are here illegally, and so employing them is not possible. So that's where our first and second phase really looks at assisting on getting them here legally in the country, on helping them get their documentation in order so that they can progress or that they can return to their family. So sometimes they just need assistance getting back home, and that's where our first and second phase really does a lot of the legwork for us.
Okay, so you support them even if they want to go home.
Yes.
That's so beautiful. So please tell me more about your program. It to me sounds fascinating.
So it's a 4-phase approach. We call it the journey. Okay, so it's not a measured thing where, 3 weeks here, 4 weeks here, 6 months here. It really is catered to the individual. So someone will join us at our service centers. So we're about to launch 3 different service centers in Joburg. We've got a number of them already up and going in Cape Town. And a service center is where someone can really get their basic needs met. Okay. They come and they can receive a meal. We'll do a day program. It includes maybe a Bible study, a change, motivation talk. There's interactions with social workers, both in groups and one-on-one. They'll have lunch. We'll do an exercise program. We'll watch a movie. Every day is different. But what we do that works really, really well is in the afternoons we have what we call our voucher earning activities. Okay. And this is where we'll take the guys to the street. In Cape Town they do a lot of beach cleanups. In Joburg we don't have beaches.
Okay. But there's street cleanups here, I'm sure.
But street cleanups or gardening projects at city park. Yes. Places. Yes. And what we do is for the hours that they spend working, we pay them with vouchers. So they're earning vouchers, and those vouchers they can then redeem through us. Okay. So whether it's for an additional shower, a meal, an item of clothing. So a lot of our donations that we get in our retail stores, our C grade is stuff that is still wearable, but we can't really charge a high price for. Yes. So that we then further donate to our service centers, and that gives the guys an opportunity to buy the things that they want. It's not an old t-shirt someone's throwing out. They can choose the style of shirt. They can choose the correct size for them.
So there's some variety in the choice. Yes. Yeah. I can see how that would work.
Yeah. Yes. So that's all at our service center. When we see that there's motivation to change, they get referred to our second phase, which is our rehab support. And that's obviously with living life on the streets, a lot of the guys need assistance with rehabilitation from substances or processes like gambling, sex and love addiction. And so the rehab support is there to give them a solid foundation, to say, you're wanting to change, let us help you how. Okay. And the first is abstinence and being able to start their recovery journey.
So you're giving me goosebumps here because I actually know how much it costs for an addict to go to a rehab center. So the work that you're doing here for these people is incredible.
And I think what's exciting is that the rehab doesn't stop at the second phase. So when they refer to our third phase, which is our work readiness. So in Joburg, we've got this charity store. In Cape Town, we've got, I think, 13 charity stores. We've got a landscaping company. We've got a construction company. We've got an IT company. But it's really a workspace where the guys will be upskilled. And so from that, the therapy doesn't stop. They still get a full 8 hours of therapy, and that includes life skills groups, recovery groups, process groups, individual case management, and computer skills, and so much more. And all of that time they are being paid, they're being compensated with a stipend to advance them in their journey. So it's really about us coming alongside them. Now what's really interesting is our work readiness has three different stages. So the first is foundation, and that's really, like I said earlier, where they're learning the basics, come to work on time, dress appropriately, those sort of things. And as they start to identify more and more with who they are, yes. We move them, we call it stepping over the line, and they step over from foundation into growth. Okay. And growth is now where we say, you are unique, you are an individual. Where are you going to end up? So for some it might be construction, for some it might be hospitality, for some it might be security. We really look at the individual, and we come alongside them, and we don't go, this is everything you need to do, yes. and throw it at them. Yes. We help them to say, well, what are your next steps? Let them do the research, come alongside. We do money management, so if they need to do a course or get a license, that we help them learn the skills, yes. so that if one day they do relapse, they don't end up back on the streets, that they have the skills to pull from to get themselves up and out again. from there, we have our integration, and this is where the guys will start being integrated into a community. So they might be working with someone, but we still have their full support. So one day a week, they get all the therapy that they need.
Okay.
Once they graduate or move across to independence, this is where, we've done the job seeking skills, the job interviewing, how to write a CV, all of those skills, and they then go out and find employment. Then what we do is still for a further 6 months afterwards, we offer them assistance with life coaches, because it's still a big change. And through all of that, we've still got an 80 to 85% success rate, where the guys that have come through our program and finished our program,
80% success rate.
Yeah, they remain sober, they remain housed, and they remain employed.
Wow.
And so,
You're giving me goosebumps.
I get goosebumps every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly successful program, because, I've looked at a lot of programs. They claim to help people to turn around, and very often that relapse rate is very high.
Yeah.
So that success rate is really impressive. What do you think is behind that?
There is so much.
Yes.
I think it's a program that we've developed. It's been 25 years in the making,
Yes.
and we're still tweaking it. We're still improving it. We're an organization that is very data driven.
Okay.
So we capture all of our stats, and it's not just a paper moving process.
Yes.
It's so that we can learn, so that we can improve and see where our shortcomings are and get better.
Yes.
We're also not afraid to partner with people. We are very much for the collaboration. So, organizations like MESS are one of our collaborators, and it's just such a beautiful thing to say, it's not about me and me making a difference, but it's
Yes.
about how do we change the communities to make a difference.
Yes.
So one of the interesting things we've done with MESS, and it's working really well in Cape Town, we're hoping to launch soon in Joburg,
Okay.
is what we call the My Change voucher.
Okay.
So this is a voucher that you can buy either from our stores or other partners, and it's where you as a community member, instead of giving 20 Rand at the robot or handing out tins of food, you give out a voucher. So
Okay.
I think the latest rate is 50 Rand for 4 vouchers.
Okay.
And that voucher can then be redeemed at our service centers. It can be redeemed at some of our partners.
Okay.
And so it then removes money off the street.
Yes.
Which then is removing one of the core problems, because you
Yes.
give someone money with intention of feeding them for the night, or getting money for a shelter, or
Yes.
transport somewhere. And what often happens is that it's used for substances, it's used to gamble.
Yes.
And so again, without MESS and UTurn partnering with that, it would be very difficult to do that on our own. So it was
Yes.
important that we made that connection,
Yes.
so that we can work together.
What an interesting system. I love it, because it gives people the opportunity to take their own dignity back.
Absolutely.
It is
Yeah.
really, really beautiful.
And it teaches the community, because I think if you look at a community, the way that people see guys living on the street, it's that you're dirty, you're different, you're beneath me.
Yes.
But what this does is it changes, and it says, you're having a rough time.
Yes.
And, that could equally be me on the street.
Yes.
And I think especially in today's time of so much
Yes.
instability with our economics, I lose my job today, and I don't know how many months I could last without ending up on the streets myself.
Yes.
So it's a way of upskilling the community as well to improve everyone's livelihoods.
Do you feel there's a lack of civic responsibility around some of these issues
I want to say
in
yes
the average
and no.
person?
I was going to say yes and no. So, I look at, we've only been open since November last year, and the kilograms of clothes that have been donated, and so in a way, maybe it's not someone taking someone by the hand and saying, let me help you, but in each person's own way, they're able to contribute. So whether
Yes.
it's donating, whether it's
Yes.
coming to volunteer, we've got champs who need extra English lessons or driving lessons. And so it could be someone just saying, I've got some time, can I come and volunteer take a champ around, let them
Oh,
drive
amazing.
my
So
car.
volunteers
So it
could
be-
come here and volunteer to do something
Absolutely.
as simple as that.
Yeah. So we obviously, because of the nature of the guys that we work with, we do need to be there to be advocating and protecting them. So
Yes.
we do have quite a strict volunteer screening process.
Yes.
Not because we only want of the best, but it's really to protect our champions on our program.
Yes, I understand that completely.
Yeah.
Thank you for this insightful and inspiring window into what you're doing here. I cannot believe that Upcycle Textiles are such a fundamental part of the fundraising
Absolutely.
for this incredible work that you're doing here. Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful piece to add to our story. I appreciate it so very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.